welcome Rotarians and guests to the 5,453rd meeting, who's counting, of the Rotary Club of San Jose. Thank you. Love that energy. Thank you, Jeff, as always, our piano man. All righty. I believe we've got some guests in the house today. If you've got a guest, get prepared. Before I do that, I believe our Rotary Red Badgers with microphones are Susan Fraser and Chelsea Souza. And also, before I do that, thank you, Lee Weimer's committee, for your fabulous greeting line today. Yeah. October 16th is coming up quick. You'll hear more about that. All right, Chelsea and Susan, please introduce yourselves.
Good afternoon. I'm Chelsea Souza. My sponsor is Michelle Loxon, and I'm Chief Development Officer at Pivotal.
Good afternoon. I'm Susan Fraser. I'm the CEO of Jewish Family Services of Silicon Valley, and my sponsor is Jason Stein.
Fantastic. Okay, those of you Rotarians with guests, please stand so we can find you and get you introduced and welcomed properly. Of course, everyone's on this side of the room. Lissa Kreisler, I've got dead air. Is that like your worst nightmare? Yeah. Okay.
Hi, I'm Steve Preminger. My guest is Tyler Taylor, the Executive Director of SASE. He lives and works in the West Valley, but we're trying to get him to move. He's here because he's a great fan of Lissa Kreisler, and I think used to drive one.
Welcome. So glad you're in the room. Hi, Gay.
Hey, and SASE, by the way, stands for Saratoga Area Senior Coordinating Council, and I'm a member and big fan of Tyler's too.
And you're sassy.
Yes. I'm going to introduce Jeff Blum, who is our speaker's significant other, and Jeff is a retired attorney and a member of Los Gatos Rotary, I believe. The other Rotary that even Lissa joined.
Great to see you, Jeff. Los Gatos Rotary, for those of you that don't know, is one of the big partners of ours for the big ECE coming up. Chelsea. Oh, Anne, hi again.
Good afternoon, President Heather. Thank you for inviting me to your club. I'm Anne Webb. I'm visiting from Bellevue Rotary. I originally joined in San Jose, but then moved to Washington State. And I have a one-day stop in San Francisco today on a 36-day cruise.
Oh, welcome. We did a flag exchange just before the meeting started. Thank you so much.
Hi, President Heather.
Hi, Stephanie.
I'm Stephanie Belansky-Fair, and I would like to introduce my guest, Linda Sawyer. She is a medical professional, and I've only known her for 2 months because I met her on a Viking River cruise in Europe, and she just happens to be new here in town, and I thought, what a great way to meet new people, Rotary.
Oh, that's beautiful. Here's Johnny.
All right, Heather. Johnny Camus. I am proud to introduce my boss, Francisco Terrazano from Community Bank of the Bay.
Welcome. Glad to have you back in the room.
President Heather, it's Catherine Tompkison. I have my two guests who are back for their repeat visit. You know what that means. First, Councilmember Sergio Jimenez, representing District 2 in San Jose, South San Jose, and Colonel Ray Watts, who is the president of the Military Officers Association of America.
Fantastic. Glad to see you both back in the room. Like we're making. Oh, hi, Arthur.
Hi, President Heather. I'm pleased to introduce my guest today, Lorraine Hepworth. She's a community activist in the community of Los Gatos and a lead with CERT and also very involved with the Los Gatos Interfaith Council.
Wonderful. So glad to have you. Thanks for visiting. Do we have any others? Is that it? You guys are making this really easy for me this week. Thank you. Well, my slides are a little bit thick. Is Fred Buzo in the house? Fred, are you here? Yes. Come on up, and Leslie Gardino too. We've got fantastic news. Blue badge presentation. I know, it's been read so long. I don't have Leslie. Because Leslie already is wearing hers. We're a little bit backed up here. Thanks for going with the protocol. We're gonna fake it a little bit. Come on over here, Fred, let's exchange. This one's really easy. We just do an exchange. And we do a borrow your red one? Oh, yeah, there we go. Wait, stand for an applaud for you. Don't forget the applause. Welcome to the Tonight Artist Rotary Club in the Club officially. Thank you so much. Thank you. All righty. Next up, we have Sarah Klisch.
So I am up here today to invite each and every one of you to the most fantastic Rotary field trip ever. It's happening Wednesday, October 16th. It's going to be at the Hammer Theater, and you are going to enjoy the Lee Weimer's Emerging Artists Awards presentation. The artists that are receiving the awards have already been announced. You can find them at weimerawards.com. They are all phenomenal in their own right, and they absolutely welcome and deserve your attendance to hear about their work and how they were selected by the committee. It is a regular meeting, just like any other meeting, it's just not here. So, a couple of logistical elements that we ask your participation and support with. First, if you are going to order lunch that day, it is a separate order, normally done as it is through the bulletin. You will click through and order just as normal. You need to arrive before 12:15 if you want to eat that lunch before the meeting begins, because no food is allowed in the theater. So plan accordingly and show up earlier, enjoy fun and fellowship with your fellow Rotarians. The second piece of it is that the theater itself needs to know who's attending. So unlike our normal meetings where you just show up and get your badge and walk on in, we need you to register ahead of time. You and anybody else that you want to come, we welcome the community to attend this event. In order to register for the event, you're going to use Eventbrite. We've done this several times before. You just click on it, you put your name, your email, you'll get an email that says you have a ticket. It doesn't cost you anything. But the theater needs to be able to check you in as you come in the theater for safety issues, etc., right? So two things, register on Eventbrite so that you can attend, and buy lunch if that's what your plan is, and come early and eat it so that you can be in the theater promptly at 12:15 to enjoy the program. Thank you.
Fantastic. And Ryan, Sebastian, as you make your way up to the stage, I want to let everyone in the room know that Marie is back. Look at that. Even better than a flag exchange, an orchid that will remind you of how vibrant and healthy and wonderful you are. Might be missed up there. Okay. Come on up here and save me, Ryan.
All right. My name is Ryan Sebastian. I'm here to talk about pickleball here at San Jose Rotary Club. We know a lot of you play. I probably play too much, and some of you it may be nice to start playing. It's a great a sport that's inclusive. Lots of people of different abilities can play. You don't need to be a pro. You just have to be willing to learn. The first thing we're going to talk about is pickleball for polio. So, let's see. We're combining having fellowship together with also with a purpose. And we're going to have our first committee meeting tomorrow. It's going to be 4 to 6 p.m. It's at the Keto Pickleball Court in Saratoga, and we reserved 2 courts. So we have one court from 3:30 to 5:30 and one court from 4 to 3:30 to 4:30, and then 4 to 5. So some of us are coming. If you'd like to join us, figure out what it's all about, even if you've never played, please join us. And then we're going to go across the street to Starbucks, talk about how we can get this pickleball committee going. I also want to announce, it's very exciting, on Saturday, some of us are going to be involved in a tournament along with the Piedmont Montclair Rotary Club, and our very own President Heather will also be on the team. So she's going to be playing in the tournament with Jay, myself, Chelsea are going to be playing. It's going to be going towards eradicating polio. These fun activities will be things like this. Maybe we'll even do our own tournament here. So please consider joining us at Pickleball for Polio Committee. Thank you.
Fantastic. I'm so excited about this, Ryan. Thank you for leading this one. Megan, come on up. She's going to, I think this is Military Care Committee's debut this year.
Thank you, President Heather. The Military Care Committee has identified a significant volunteer need, and we wanted to bring it to the club's attention. Next week is the Santa Clara County Stand Down at the fairgrounds. It's a 3-day event. It is free, and it provides services to support veterans. The services include a claims clinic to file veteran claims, dental services, medical services, homeless support services, free haircuts, hygiene kits, and meals, amongst other things. And it's expected that there are going to be 3,000 to 3,500 veterans and their families at this event over the 3 days. Because of this many attendees, they are in need of a lot of volunteers. So here are the details. The stand down is next Wednesday through Friday. That's October 2nd through the 4th. Volunteer shifts are 8 a.m. to 12 p.m., 12 p.m. to 4 p.m., and 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. The Military Care Committee is volunteering for the shift on October 3rd from 12 p.m. to 4 p.m. And you're welcome to sign up for that shift along with us, but feel free to volunteer for any time that works for you. And also, I'm also considering this as a volunteer opportunity for your teams at your companies or organizations that you're a part of, or friend groups or anything else to bring along. The need is great. There is a website to register to volunteer. I have handouts with the QR code that links to the website, and I'll be in the lobby after the meeting. You can come find me, ask me any questions, and thank you for your time.
Thank you. What a great opportunity. We get so many questions around, I just want to help. What can I do? What can I do? We heard last week about the pollinator plant distribution. We've got this opportunity next week. If you've got a couple free hours and you just want to feel the energy of giving back to the world, you've got a couple opportunities right here, right now. All righty. Jay Ross? Jay Ross, come on up. Past President Jay Ross.
Oh, thank you, President Heather. Hi, everybody. So who was at last week's great barbecue? Let's hear it. If you were there, did you have the chance to see our wonderful Rotary Mobile Health Clinic? Will the members of the committee, the Next Big Project Committee who are here, please stand? Let's show them all some love. And this should be the committee, I think. Thank you, and keep it going a little stronger, a little longer for Vince Senseri, who chaired that committee and did a phenomenal job. I'd say that committee met about 200 times, seemed like every Friday morning at 7:30, and Vince kept it going, and it was great and very successful. This project shows the power of our club. Not only our investment, not only our time, but we partnered with Rotacare, we partnered with the Catholic Charities and the Order of Malta to bring this amazing vehicle to life to serve those in our community who are in need of health services. So it really is a great demonstration of the power of our club. In case you missed the Rotary Barbecue and you are interested in seeing the vehicle, opportunity not lost. The next slide, which I think is that one.
You know how to do this.
I don't, but thank you. The next opportunity you could see it is at the grand opening, which is October 17th, at Our Lady of Guadalupe Church, where the vehicle will be put in action. So if you want to see it, you can go there and check it out. Now, President Heather has asked me for a favor today, not just being up here. To know me is to know that I love chocolate chip cookies. And during my presidency, I shared that love with the club, and President Heather has asked me to bring chocolate chip cookies to today's meeting. So when you leave, I believe Leslie has put them on the back table. There are chocolate chip cookies for folks as you leave. I'm not going to tell you where they're from. I do find these very good. If you like them, ask me, and I will let you know where I got them. If you don't like them, keep your opinion to yourself. But you can ask me, and I'll tell you anyways. Enjoy the cookies on your way out. Thanks.
Thank you, Shay. Wonderful. I'm trying to do a little bit of spotlighting on our past presidents and all the good that they did. Some of the hallmarks of their year. Obviously, chocolate chip cookies was one of them. Certainly not the biggest impact that Jay had during his years, but definitely the sweetest. And I think that this is the final meeting of the first quarter of my presidency. I know, woo, time flies. Oh, thanks for that. So we want to make this extra sweet. We've got so much sunshine coming your way with the chocolate chip cookies and the sunshine coming up later in the program. Just briefly on President's time here, I think this is I'm not sure what that means. Okay, there we go. All right. Please note that the international feast, the date has been changed, and that's an important reason. It was conflicting with Yom Kippur, and we just couldn't have that. So anyway, we are now at October 18th, so please save the date. Not just save the date, it's beyond saving the date. Now it's like get your tickets and come. Registrations are already filling up. This is one of the sweetest events that we do during the year. You're going to feel wonderful about this. You're going to see performances. You're going to get great food and be with all the Rotarians that you know and love. And of course, donations are gladly accepted, which is wonderful. So mark that date down. I'm going to just state this by, we pulled a slide today, but it's coming back. We're going to be bringing back fun finds. I think I did a very good job in not finding any of you during the first quarter. That's going to stop. So we want to catch you guys being great, doing great things while not wearing your pin. And if you are open to being made fun of publicly, along with the contributions that will be made to the foundation, see me. Or as what I got today, you will be photographed and things will be sent my way. And you might just be pulled up here without notice. All right, fun finds. Okay. We're a little bit ahead of schedule, which is wonderful. That leaves a little more time for Q&A. Gay Crawford, come on up and introduce our guest.
Well, if you've been around a while, and I have, and listened to morning radio, you would recognize the life, love, joy, and laugh of the woman synonymous with that, Lissa Kreisler. She was raised in San Jose, and Lissa had her first job at KLOK Radio and for 10 years, and then at K-Bay for a whopping 30 years. She was inducted into the Radio Hall of Fame in 2015, and for 7 years was the anchor and host of KCAT show called Community Storytelling. She's one of the best interviewers I've ever had. She continues to be an MC, advocate for the community and nonprofits. Her career at K-Bay was marked by her ability to connect with the community, whether through music, local events, or public service announcements. Her friendly demeanor, which you'll see today, Lissa built a following, and I know many people who just tuned in regularly to hear her insights and enjoy the music, the jokes, and life stories. All of you remember John Danner spoke to us a couple of weeks ago, and so I looked at AI and said, Lissa Kreisler. And I think this paragraph, I think of our friend Bob Keefe, but Lissa Kreisler's contribution to Bay Area radio left an indelible mark and underscores the importance of local radio in bringing people together and enriching community. Today, Lissa will talk about her decades of sunny mornings. Welcome, Lissa.
see me? Can you all see me? Okay. Whoa, I am. That's the sad thing. Oh my goodness. First of all, nah, I'm good. I think, will this thing break if I stand on the bottom level? It might. You know, I have gained a few pounds. I don't know. But anyway, thank you all for having me here. And I've got to tell you, I'm a little nervous because I know so many of you. And usually these 2 pages have been through 7 years, and they're about to fall apart, so maybe this is the last time I'll use them. But before I get started, I wanted to tell you guys that you are the epitome of the service club, this particular Rotary. Every time I drive, and I'm at Target a lot, so I drive by the Rotary Kids Garden or Park, maybe I'm not calling it, I think of you guys every time putting that together. And that mobile health clinic, oh my God, when I saw that, I was applauding you. Oh!
Got you.
Okay. Whoa! Like that, thank you. See, I just told you, you are the epitome of everything. You make things happen. But anyway, okay, I guess I'm supposed to talk about me. Can you all hear me? Nobody ever has a problem hearing me. Ask my kids. So, decades of sunny mornings. I've got to say, I know you all love your jobs. I had the best job ever. I really did. Even though I woke up at 2:30 in the morning for about 30 years, I got paid to gossip and talk about people. And while it was always supposed to be nice, it wasn't always. And, you know, I mean, I got paid for doing nothing and sitting on a microphone. And I got to tell you, I was at K-Bay for 30 years, and I was their princess, and I never knew how to turn myself on. They did all the work for me. I had one little button, and on and off, but I could never work without somebody across from me because I didn't know how to do the controls. But I am truly a South Bay girl. What was that? I forget what that thing was for. Local girl makes good. I kind of did. I think it's almost unheard of to grow up and get to be on big-time radio stations where you grew up. So I was on KLOK, which is an AM station. Now, am I too loud? Back up? I can't do that. I eat microphones, but I'll try. Okay, we'll ignore it. We'll pretend it's not there. Okay. So I grew up, I went to Lee High School. Does anybody know about the Longhorns? Dartmouth Junior High. I truly am local. And I worked at KLOK for 10 years right out of San Jose State University, which, go Spartans. Oh, we'll talk more about San Jose in a minute. And then after 10 years, they were going to go Spanish, and I did not know anything other than Me llamo Luisa. So I was lucky enough that K-Bay Radio, where once you got a job at K-Bay, you died at K-Bay. They never got rid of you until me. But once you were there, so luckily, a guy who had John Clark Fortner, he was their news person forever, and he decided to go drive a taxi cab in San Francisco, and I got his job. And I got paid a lot more than he did, too, because he left all of his paperwork in the desk. When I was cleaning, and I said, "You worked for this? Are you kidding me?" So it was a fabulous, fabulous career. I did get inducted into the Bay Area Radio Hall of Fame, and thank you. And I just got to be a part of this community, and I love this place. So I got to tell you, San Jose State University, go Spartans, absolutely. They had a great journalism department, and it was led by a man by the name of Dwight Bentel, who has passed away. But when I was a freshman taking my very first journalism class, Journalism 101, he kicked me out of class for talking. And I thought, okay, I am done. But he let me back in the next week. Yeah, he kept me out for a week because I talked too much. And I think, Sal, you were at his last big event or something, and I think you reminded him of it, and he said, "Lisa who?" But anyway, whatever. Whatever. I have that effect on people. They forget easily. But I did my internship at KLOK, and I never left for 10 years. You know, I would go to school, and I do the afternoon radio show, and if I ever mispronounced anything, which was all the time, I started laughing and could not stop. And I thought, how is anybody ever going to hire me? And somehow they did. And I still laugh all the time, but it's okay. a couple of funny stories. My very first big event at San Jose at KLOK was to cover Ronald Reagan at a campaign appearance. And I happened, this is so Lisa. My microphone, the tape recorder, nothing was working. And I did not know that until I got home and had to call the station and had nothing to share with them. So I talked my way out of that one. But one of my favorite stories, and I'm kind of jumping ahead, I did that on the radio too. I will never forget covering Bill Clinton at John Muir Middle School. And he and I had a moment, I know that. There may have been 35,000 people, but I know he saw me. Well, getting in was no easy feat. I had a brand new Mercedes. My late husband was an attorney. I didn't get it on my salary. I had a brand new Mercedes, and the Secret Service said to me, could you pop the hood? And I said, no. And I couldn't find out how to pop the hood, and they weren't going to come into my car for some reason. And they finally, they said, okay, could you pop the trunk at least? And I said, that I can do, and I got my key out, and I opened the trunk, and they saw nothing but Barbie dolls and soccer balls. And I remember the Secret Service in the back said, let her through, she seems to be safe. So, I mean, my whole life has been I Love Lucy stories. But I do remember, and I think this changed my life and guided me throughout everything. Bill Weaver owned KLOK AM. He loved women, which is the only reason why I got hired. And he took me aside one day and he said, two things that I will require of you. That you dress nicely. If you knew what radio people wore, oh my God. K-Bay, we had a thing where we always dressed nicely. The late Bob Coates wore a tie every day to work. I dressed like this every day. I didn't, got up at 2:30. I showered, got dressed, did my makeup. I put my clothes out every night before, so I was all set. And he said, you got to dress nicely because you never know where you'll be or who will see you. And you have to be a community advocate because that's what radio is all about. And I kind of think I did everything he asked me to do. And I think of him a lot because he showed me the way. He showed me the way it was to be. So anyway, my whole life was on the radio. We were heavy talk, and I announced when my late husband passed the bar exam. I announced, when my children were doing important things until my oldest daughter was in 6th grade, and I was discussing on the air how she broke up with her boyfriend on the telephone. I did not know that every single school bus in Santa Clara County had K-Bay on. And I remember I got a call from the principal that day, who obviously I knew well, and he said, Victoria's very upset. We asked her what was wrong, because we could tell when she got off the bus she was not happy. And I sent her flowers that day. I think it took her 2 days to talk to me again. But I kind of learned a little bit of a lesson sometimes on what to say and what not to say. My late husband was an attorney, and he would have clients come in all the time, and they would say, did you hear what Lisa said about you today? And he'd say, I don't need to. When I started dating Jeff, I started talking about his weird eating habits on the air. But he was okay with it sometimes. But it's just, but I want to tell you about some of the experiences. When I was at K-Bay, we had a sister station called Keene. It was country music. And I was on both of them, which was really bizarre. And I had a little room, and I had a little toggle switch that if I was going on Keene, I pressed it this way. If I was going on K-Bay, I pressed it this way. And K-Bay, that was when we played music, elevator music, and you knew there were words to those songs. So we didn't have a lot of personality on that station, but Keene went overboard. And I was proud to say that I never switched the two stations, but when I was on Keene, and it's an amazing thing, you start talking country as soon as you open the mic. You just do it, and it's so bizarre, but it just happens. But, while I was at Keene and K-Bay, we had the earthquake in '89. That was not good. I am deathly afraid of earthquakes, even a 2.8. You never want to be in an earthquake with me. And I remember, luckily, or unluckily, K-Bay, our transmitter was up on the mountains, Santa Cruz Mountains, and it got knocked down. So I thought, okay, I don't have to go to work tomorrow. And my boss, Steve Snell, called me up and said, we need you at work tomorrow. Keen radio's still on. And I remember I was trying to say something, and my husband slapped me because I was just talking gibberish because I was so frightened to go in. And for the next days, we had so many aftershocks, and I was under the table during every single one of them. So I would go on the radio and talk. We'd have an aftershock. I was under the table. One of the stories that actually, 9/11, of course, changed all of our lives. But let me tell you, you know how you always hear about the bells going off on the UPI machine? And you never want the bells to go off. Well, they went off one day. You know, the Challenger explosion. It's funny, I got a degree in journalism, and people say, you're a journalist, the way I wrote on the radio. I wrote my stories to talk to my best friend. So I didn't write the way Dwight Bentel taught me, and he would have been rolling over in his grave many times. But I remember there were so many liftoffs that I would always write the Challenger went off before, I'd have my news ready to go in 10 minutes and assume that everything went fine, and it did for how many years? And then all of a sudden, that one day, I was about 2 minutes before 9 o'clock, and I was supposed to go on the air, and I had my newscast, and, I said, the Challenger went off, everything is fine. Well, the bells went off, and I will never forget the terror that I felt hearing the bells for real, and that's when I had to change my story, obviously. A lot of funny stuff happened, though, too. Crazy interviews. David Copperfield. I remember he was staying at the Marriott in Santa Clara under an assumed name. I don't remember what that name was, but we had to call him at 4:30 in the morning and ask for this name. And Don Potter was my partner at the time. And Don asked him during that's when we did live interviews. Don asked him how his cape was, and he hung up on us on the air. He just hung up, slammed the phone. We had fun with that. Julio Iglesias. Oh my goodness. We were interviewing him live as well. And I don't know what this was about, but during the interview, he asked me if I was on the birth control pill. And I remember my mouth, I didn't know what to say, and I think I said yes. But I mean, it was just like one of those things like, are you kidding me? And at the time, he said he was swimming naked in his pool, so I guess it made sense. But I've got to tell you, I probably did announce that up. I think I said everything on the radio, including my bra size. I'm sure I said my bra size at one point. I used to have radio partners sitting across from me with their mouth open half the time, like, oh my God, stop it already. You don't need to keep going. But, Richard Simmons, may he rest in peace, he went on our station and said the wrong call letters. Vanessa Williams, I know a lot of you like her. She was not very nice. And after we finished the interview, it was on tape, I said, we're not running that. And Sam said, okay, we don't need to. Nick Carter, from the Backstreet Boys, I asked him if he really did hit Paris Hilton. And that was the end of that interview as well. No shame. Simon Cowell may have been one of my favorite interviews, and I still to this day do not know why we were talking to him, because we spent the whole morning talking about how I loved him, and he was such a good sport. Was speaking to him from London. Tony Bennett, that was a favorite. It was a telephone interview, not in person, and everything you ever thought about Tony Bennett was absolutely true. Barry Manilow, I love Barry Manilow, and I know maybe his time has come. But I love Barry Manilow, and one of our very last interviews, another time we kept saying, we love you, and he said, I love you, Lisa, and we put it on real loop so we could play it over and over again. But the best moment was he said, goodbye, Lisa, and Stan. It was Sam. I just felt so good about that. Anyway. Sam did not. I don't think we ever played that again. But anyway. But so I got to tell you, it was 39 best years of my life. My whole life was on the radio, many I Love Lucy moments. My daughters would say, Mom, please don't talk when we go someplace, because somebody would recognize my voice, and they say, please don't laugh, just don't laugh. And I would laugh, and then somebody would say, are you Lissa Kreisler? We were actually in Las Vegas in the Forum shop, in a dressing room, and I started laughing about something, and somebody 2 dressing rooms down said, "Oh my God, is Lissa Kreisler here?" So I had a very distinct laugh, and my daughters just looked at me with the eyes rolling again. It was just a great career, and I've got to tell you, and I don't want to sound like I have this big ego, because I really have no self-esteem, and it's true, right? It's true. I have no self-esteem. I think I'm the worst at everything. But I always wanted to be Oprah on the radio. And some people said I kind of succeeded. That they would call up, you know, when we weren't on the air, and I would talk to them, and they'd want advice about this and that. And it just, even to this day, I'll meet an attorney or a judge who will say to me, "I made sure you were the last thing I heard in my car before I got out, so that maybe I'd have a smile this morning." Almost makes me want to cry. I mean, it's good stuff. You know, it just is good stuff. And I'm so grateful that I had an opportunity to do that. But I've got to tell you, December 7th, 2016 was my day of infamy. Funny how it happened on December 7th. I was told that my partner was retiring. They wouldn't need me anymore either. They actually wanted to change the station, and I'd been there they couldn't change the station with me there. And for the first time in my life, I was fired. They didn't call it firing. They said, "We're just letting you go." Well, it's firing. And the stupid thing is, they asked me to stay 10 more days. And they said, "Please don't tell anybody in the station that we let you go, because it's going to cause trouble. So just come and do your job every day." Well, my son-in-law, who had worked at the station for a little while, came in. I called him and said, "Well, it happened." And he comes barging through the elevator, and they said, "Who are you?" And he said, "I'm here to see Lissa Kreisler. I'm her son-in-law, and she's just been fired." And so I remember I had to go into John Levitt and say, "Everybody knows." He says, "Oh, we better work on a press release." But let me just tell you, if you get let go, and I think we're almost all at the age we're not even working anymore, when they say you've been let go, do not stay 10 more days. Every morning I'd come and I'd be sobbing, and I'd go on the radio and everything would be fine, and then I'd get off the air and I'd be sobbing again. And our poor program director, his office was next to mine. He had to leave 10 o'clock every day. And this man, Sal Pissarro, was with me on my very last day on the radio, sat with me for hours, and I was crying. I would talk on the radio, shut the mic off, and then he didn't know what to do. He said, "Oh my God," he said to Sam Van Zandt, who was my best partner ever, he said to Sam, "Just let her cry, whatever." But I am a crier. So anyway, my day came, and I was out of work, and I didn't know what I was going to do, and I cried so much that Jeff sent me to New York to just get me out of his hair, because I cried so much. But I finally said, "What would Lissa do?" Because that's what listeners would call up and ask me, what should I do? What would Lissa do? And I thought, okay, I'm a grandma, thank God. I don't really need to work, thank God, anymore. But I was so worried about losing my place in the community, because it was so important to me. So I didn't want to just disappear. So I had lunch with everybody. I didn't have a resume. I didn't even know how to make a resume. So I went online and made a free resume. And I made 25 hard copies, and nobody ever wanted one. They're still in my file cabinet. A website. My son-in-law created a website, which we still have to this day, although it hasn't been updated. And I went out for breakfast and lunch. I gained must have 5 pounds. And then I met with Jim Reber. And Jim Reber sat me down at La Crema Coffee Shop and said, "This is what you're going to do." He opens up his notebook. You all know Jim Reber, right? James Reber, Jim Reber. He saved my life. And he said, "You're going to go on the speaking circuit, and your speech is going to be called Decades of Sunny Mornings." And he said, you're going to write this. And I did. And he said, "You're going to go to service clubs, and whoever will listen to you." And a few did. And it kept me in the community. And he said, and then I had another best friend from college who said, "You're going to keep posting on Facebook. If none of you are my friend on Facebook, keep it that way." I post so much. All good stuff, almost all good stuff. And people, so if you're my friend, you get all of the things I post and all the comments. So I understand if you don't want to be my friend on Facebook. It's okay. But thank goodness it kind of kept me out there. I did 7 seasons at KCAT TV, which was wonderful. Interviewed so many people, all about good stuff. And that's just the story of my life. Are we done? Did you give me my you gave me I still have 5? I don't know if I have anything to talk about. 4? I only have 4 now? Okay. Well, let's see. Oh my God, I've already told you guys you're great. I've told you how I embarrassed my family all the time. Ooh. He doesn't know what to do if you start crying. Is that true, Amy? Is he good at handling your tears? Because he wasn't good at handling mine. It was like he would say, okay, how much time on the commercial break do we have? You were, okay, whatever. He was working. And you know, where's Sarah Janigan, who I've known her probably the longest in this room. She was my late husband's RA at San Jose State University, and I would come and visit, never spent the night. I would come and visit, because she would watch you. Well, she didn't know, really, but I didn't. And I met Sarah, so that was, you know, I'm going to be 70. A long time ago, yeah. Anybody, I hope you have questions. I love questions. Make them up. Nobody has questions? Okay, yes. You know, I will tell you, I love talking to you all. I've always wanted to talk to you, but I've been afraid to talk to you because some of you know me. And, but I didn't lie. Everything was the honest truth. And I cry a lot, I laugh a lot, and we got a question. Good.
Yes, thank you, Lisa, for coming.
Thank you.
I have a question here. Can you tell us a little bit about George Snell Sr., the founder of that station? He seemed to be a wonderful businessman and knew him a number of years ago.
Got a funny story about George Snell Sr. So George Snell Sr., when he owned Keene Radio, they were on Winchester. In a high-rise, well, like 4-story, you know, not a high-rise. But there was a bomb threat one time. And I remember Ralph Hasty, who became one of my favorite partners as well, he was working there all by himself at night. And he called Mr. Snell up and said, there is a bomb threat. They think it might be legitimate. Can I leave? And he said no. He would just stay sitting there on the radio. And sure enough, he did. He said he was quivering the whole time, hoping it wasn't really real. But yes, the Snell family, one of the most fabulous families in Silicon Valley, and they kept our radio stations local until they didn't. They, you know, sold them finally, which they deserved to do. And the whole station demeanor changed when we became owned by big companies. When the Snell family, Steve Snell. Do any of you know Steve Snell? I mean, I'll really start to cry. I love him to pieces. In fact, he always said I was like his daughter, and my late husband would say, well, is she in your will? And he'd say, no, we can't go that far. But Steve Snell, every single morning, would come in and go to every single office in the station, and there were many offices, to say good morning and how are you. And so I started doing that too, and then he would say to me, Lisa, you may have worked your shift already, but nobody else has. Could you go back someplace else? But I mean, how wonderful it is to have the boss and owner make a point of coming in to say good morning to you specifically every day. Fabulous family. Thank you for asking.
Hi, Lisa. I don't have a question, just more of a comment, and that is probably half the people in this room have been to a charity event that you have emceed, and you've made every one of those events better. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Lisa.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness.
Hi, Lisa. It's Janica.
I see you, Janica.
Hello. And I just was going to echo that as well. I was going to say there is nobody who has been more visible and raising funds and visibility for our community organization, so thank you for that. I could ask you all kinds of questions about your illustrious career, but I have a silly one I want to ask.
Okay.
So I am a Facebook friend of yours, and I want to know, okay, so besides knowing what national day I need to drink a margarita on, or what, butterscotch pudding day I need, where are you finding your content from? I'm so curious.
Well, if I tell you, you won't want to see it.
Oh my goodness, it's just fantastic.
I do have, and it's free. I don't pay for it. But that is my favorite. I am still a morning person. Is that are we having a bomb threat?
No, we're.
It's just telling me to shut up?
That's
okay.
kind of like yelling fire in a crowded building, sweetie.
Okay,
That's
but that is my favorite time in the morning to look up what all the days are and to post them and to read everybody's opinion. And today was Pharmacist Day, but none of us really like our pharmacists, so I didn't include that. But it is Daughter's Day, and it's Have a Quesadilla Day. So now you know what you're having for dinner.
No, you're good. You're going to stay.
okay.
That was actually the timer for the talk. I can't believe we gave you 3 minutes that you didn't. When has that ever happened?
Never.
There's never dead air with Lissa.
And
never,
then,
never.
and then I ran out of things to say. Not really, but I figured you would be bored with the other stuff.
We're now officially in Q&A. Fernando.
Yes,
Hi,
thank you, Lisa.
Fernando.
I wondered if you could give us an understanding or a flavor of your keen voice.
Oh my goodness, I don't think I can do it. I'm out of practice now. I wish I could. And you all know John Betancourt, the late John Betancourt. I will tell you this story. One day I was doing the news, and he was going to the bathroom, and he was a little overweight, not much, but a little bit. And the bathroom was all the way down at the end of our floor. And I was on the radio, and I started laughing about God knows what. And there was nobody to help me because he was in the bathroom. He came running out with his pants down at his ankles, trying to save me. But I mean, so many fun things happen behind the scenes. He did not look good in his underwear. Anyway, anybody else? Oh, hi.
Hi, Lisa, Richard Alejandro. I learned a lot from your husband, from your former husband. And
late husband.
Your late husband, yes.
A little bit of a distinction
yeah,
since I'm with a divorce attorney now.
And I think your daughters learned something from the music teacher, my wife. And what I learned from you was that beautiful smile that you always have. It's always stayed with me. So happy to see you. I do have a question that came to me yesterday. I don't know if you know the answer to this or not, but a friend of mine was on radio this weekend. He said, listen to me. I said, okay. So I'm working in the yard, and I'm going to get in the house and listen to his show. And I go, we don't have a radio in the house. What does everybody do now to listen to radio?
They go sit in their car and hope that it's not AM. You know, I do not listen to music anymore. I listen to Sirius Radio. I listen to Radio Andy. I love trash. I love the Housewives, all that type of stuff, or CNN or MSNBC. That's really all I have on my dial. I was trying to find the Niners game on Sunday, and it's now on 95.7. What the heck is that about? No, it's on the Bone, 101.7, something weird. So, you know, it's so different now. And or you listen to it on your computer, I think. I think you can do that. So they say, but don't ask me. Uh-oh.
Hey, Lisa, thanks for sunny mornings and all the memories. And I'm going to piggyback a little bit on the nonprofit. Stephanie Demos, our new Cancer Care Point Executive Director, just came in a little late but wanted to hear you. She knows you. I really think that your help early on for Cancer Care Point made a difference. And I think of all the charities as other people, and now Thrives, Los Gatos, all the things you've done, JW House, thank you for your commitment and continuing to help the community.
Thank you. And I'm going to go home and say to Jeff, oh my God, do you think I was okay? Or I'll say, do you think I do enough? I mean, I'm always, and he's, yeah, so thank you. We need Kleenex up here.
I'm so sorry.
Okay, but I do have a dress I could put up, okay.
Hey, Lisa.
Hi.
Hey, I'm the opposite. I love drama and gossip. Can you tell us one of the most fun, gossipy, dark, but fun things you ever encountered when you were on the radio and got to have fun with?
Well, like I said, Vanessa Williams, we didn't run her. We hated her so much. She didn't answer any of the questions we wanted her to. We didn't hate her. She's a lovely woman. I'm sorry. I didn't really mean that. Oh, my goodness. Gosh. And now my mind. You know, Sal Pizarro spoke at my Rotary yesterday. And Jeff asked him a question, and he couldn't think of the answer, and now I'm doing the same thing. Do you have an answer?
My answer is Alexander Petrie to my question yesterday.
Oh my goodness, Carl, I mean, you know, it's so, well, okay. I do have something. Sam Van Zandt, who has worked at every station in the Bay Area, became my partner because our boss heard us talking a lot and thought, oh, we got to put these two together. So they actually got rid of some. I was the black widow of my radio station. I went through 4 men. And I remember one time, Don Potter was getting let go, and he said, can't you let Lisa go instead? She's married to an attorney. And they said, no, you're going. But Sam Van Zandt was on the radio with me just maybe 2 days. And we had a traffic reporter. I don't know if stations still do traffic, I guess they do. That person is in a whole nother place, and ours was in San Francisco. And we were in downtown San Jose, just a few minutes from here. And Sam turned on his microphone. It was 8 o'clock, and we just finished playing Elton John's Daniel, which just ends. There's no music, there's no tinkle, there's nothing. It's done. And he had the mic open for the traffic guy, and he was mad at somebody, and he said the F word on our air. And I remember Sam said to me, nobody heard that. And I said, are you nuts? And I remember we went to commercial, and we came back on, and I was babbling. My chair, I was going around in circles saying, we don't say that stuff on KB. We didn't mean that. And then everybody wanted to know what was said, the people who missed it. But so that guy wanted Sam to be fired for having his mic open 20 seconds before it was supposed to be. But he got fired. He was never on our station again. But yeah, that's. Oh, and I also forgot to tell you, I was at KB 3 days, and I knocked us off the air. I mean, I was so nervous, and I was always cold. And we had 2 radiators, and I turned them on at the same time, and it knocked the whole station off the air. I think we were off for 20 minutes, and I had to admit that I did that. But yes, so anyway, probably not dark enough, but kind of. It was an experience. Oh, no.
Oh, no, don't be nervous. I was actually originally going to ask you a question about the male personalities that you were partnered with and whether you adjusted to them or they adjusted to you, but we know the answer to that.
You do.
So instead, I'll ask about a great KB tradition that you experienced for many years, which was the Christmas music.
Oh my God, and I loved it.
I was going to ask, did you
And
get
I'm
sick
Jewish.
of it? Did you like it?
And I'm Jewish. I loved our Christmas music. I will tell you, we were in San Francisco for 1 year, and that's all we lasted. And I remember I was walking in like at 3 in the morning, and it was October. It wasn't even Halloween yet. And the board op, that's what they called somebody if there was no on-air person there. They just watched the board to make sure you didn't go off the air. He says to me, you're playing Christmas music. And I said, what? I said, oh, they must have hit the wrong button, because we did have the Christmas music always ready to go. And I remember I woke up our program director at 3:15 to say, we're playing Christmas music. He says, yeah, I know, we had to be coit this year. So there you have it. There you have it. I loved Christmas music. The only negative is most of the songs were too short. So you couldn't go to the bathroom. It's like, okay, we got 2.5 minutes, and no, we'll just wait. Well, I love Christmas music, and still do. Uh-oh. Okay, he's not a member of this Rotary.
Visiting Rotarian with the mic.
I'll be nice. I'll be nice. So I do want to say, I'll get a little cheesy first. Lisa's always been an amazing inspiration to me. I've learned a lot from her. I'm a litigation attorney, or I was, and just observing her, I've learned a lot of, how to be appropriate in court and just how to project and so on. But I'm going to segue off of what he was talking about Christmas. Why don't you tell them all about your Christmas in the park?
Okay, do I have a minute?
Volunteer
Okay,
item.
this is another good one. You'll love this, Carl. It was Santana Row's Christmas tree lighting several years ago. And I was with Sam, and we were on the stage, and it's dark. And thousands go to this Christmas tree lighting at Santana Row. And we were on stage, and I remember Pierluigi Oliverio was behind me. They had already introduced him. They're all there. And Santa was coming on to, do something. And I wasn't supposed to ask Santa a question, but I did. You never tell me not to do something. So I handed him the mic, and he fell off the stage right in front of 5,000 children. And I remember Sam is looking over, and he is like concerned because Santa's glasses broke. I think he'd been drinking, because don't Santas usually drink before the event? And I remember I turn around because I'm about to lose it. I laugh at everything, whether or not I should. So I turn around, and I see Pierluigi's shoulders going like this. He can't stop laughing either. And I thought, okay, what should Lissa do? And I composed myself, and I had the mic, and I said to all the children out there, and this is the good Jew speaking, I said, Don't you worry, kids. Santa's just fine. He's just getting himself together. He will be down your chimney on Christmas Eve. Don't you worry about this. And I saved the day. Thank you very much. And then I turned around and started laughing again. It's okay. So, well, I don't really know. You know, we finally got him up, and the glasses, and he had a little bit of blood, but he did go and sit on his big chair. He had a big chair to sit on. Who knows?
I think we have time for one more if we've got it out there.
Can we have one? Oh, my goodness.
Oh, fantastic.
Uh-oh, another friend.
And I have a giant tissue for you. You seem to be doing okay, but just in case you don't have to muss your dress.
She stopped me. Oh, Lisa, you know I have to say something. Lisa has been a dear, dear friend to me for, well, I was, let's see, with Envision 24 years, and she was there with me for 24 years. And I remember her saying, whatever you need, just ask me, just call me. And I know she didn't realize that I would be doing that on a regular basis. Because she had to help the homeless in ways that a lot of other people would not give that much time to do. And so I just want to publicly say, you know, I always had my hand out, and you always found a way to help us or extend, you know, the time that you would run advertisements for us, whatever it was, and collect goods for the people we served. But always we had a great time, and I do remember that we always took the time, you, me, and Sal, to have a fancy cocktail at the Capitol Club.
We've had a few cocktails together, that is for
Yes,
sure.
we did.
I'm a wine drinker, though, just in case you need to know that for the future, red wine.
Anyway, you're very special to me.
Thank you so
and
very
the
much.
community.
Ladies and gentlemen, Lissa Kreisler.
Thank you, thank you.
We've not yet. No. We have to do no.
One more.
No. You have to. Now you just have to be with me. Get over here. We've made a gift in your name to the Trash Punks. I know you love them. And then I'm an agricultural gal, so I'm presenting you with these beautiful Chandler walnuts grown here from Silker Orchards. And go ahead and bake us something. Then.
That's not good.
Okay, all right. Well, you can just munch. It's a good protein source. We'll just a little bit here. Oh shoot! I told you I was going to wear flats today. Dang it. I know, but we'll trade shoes. Thank you, Lissa.
Sure. I don't know if I told you this, but watching all of you and knowing all of you, you're making me a better Rotarian. So thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Fantastic. And Lissa, I can't smile without you. All right. Next week, we have Dr. Andrew Fracknoy. This is This is an A-lister, guys. He's a Rotary favorite. If you haven't heard of Dr. Fracknoy, he's the Astro Prof. You can find him online as the Astro Prof. And he weaves in you will be so excited about stars and astronomy afterwards. And if you already are excited about that, you'll be even more excited about that. So this is another meeting where you're going to want to bring a friend, sign up early, and don't forget to get those lunch orders in early. We're going to have a packed house next week for Andrew Fracknoy. For final thoughts, all I just want to say is thank you so much to my committee members. You're allowing you to have your voices up here. We have over 50 committees. I'm so glad Military Care got their first chance at the mic of the season. We'll see many more times from you up here. And just thanks for all the variety of voices up here. Because it's the end of my first quarter, we're going to be having a progress and pizza meeting at the Gordon House. So if you are a committee chair, committee co-chair, that's pretty much all of you in the room, we will see you for that, and we'll be revealing some plans for the next quarter. Other than that, we are adjourned.